Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today for my annual Senior Scam Stopper seminar. My name is Assemblymember Mark Berman, and I represent the 23rd Assembly District, which includes the San Mateo County coast side from Pacifica through Pescadero to the Santa Cruz County border, as well as southern San Mateo County on the peninsula, and from Saratoga, kind of West San Jose Campbell, all the way north to Palo Alto in Santa Clara County. The world has changed a lot over the last 4 years, and unfortunately, fraudsters have kept up with the times. Reports to the Federal Trade Commission showed that during 2022, older adults reported losing more than $1.6 billion to fraud, an increase of 60% from 2021. They also reported losing a lot of money to investment scams, $404 million in reported losses, with reports often describing fake cryptocurrency investment opportunities that targeted people on social media. In addition, folks reported losing more to business impersonation scams, especially scammers pretending to be Amazon, and to romance scams than the previous year. And people were more than 6 times more likely, older folks were more than 6 times more likely than younger adults to report losing money to tech support scams. We're getting a lot of tech support phone calls right now into the office for folks trying to sign on to the Zoom. Fortunately, we have experts here today who will teach you how to protect yourself from both old and new scams. Scammers know how to prey on people's fears, your fears of fines, your fears of bad credit, utility shutoffs, the IRS, and the well-being of loved ones. As creative and relentless as these charlatans are, there are steps you can take to protect yourself and your loved ones. Today, we will have presentations from Natalie Watmore from the Contractors State License Board, Mary Beth Bykowski from the California Department of Insurance, and Sally Westlake with the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. We are also going to save time for questions and answers at the end. Please feel free to add your questions, comments, and experiences into the Q&A feature at the bottom of the Zoom page. We also received some questions in advance, and we hope to have time to answer those questions as well. I also want to add that if you have been scammed or you think you might have been scammed and you don't know what to do, please call my district office and we will direct you to resources that can help you out. The phone number is 650-324-0224. Again, that's 650-324-0224. And I'll repeat that at the end of the seminar as well. Lastly, thank you so much to our expert panelists for taking the time to join us today. We have over 200 people have signed up so far. We are also going to record this and put it on our website for people who weren't able to participate on a Thursday afternoon. But it's now my pleasure to introduce Natalie Watmore from the California Contractors State License Board, who's going to get today's event started. Natalie, take it away.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to sharing some very helpful information on how seniors can protect themselves from construction scams. Again, my name is Natalie Watmore. If you want to visit our website, cslb.ca.gov/seniors, you'll find this information and more to help you find the right contractor to help with your home improvement projects. So what should you know about construction scams? First, I just want to tell you a little bit about who the Contractor State License Board is, or CSLB, if you will. We protect California consumers, and we license nearly 285,000 contractors in 44 different classifications. And little did you know, or maybe you already know, seniors are targeted in construction scams. But why? You are a trusting group of people, which makes you very vulnerable to construction scams. Unlicensed contractors will try to manipulate seniors. They might go to your door. They might keep coming back until you say yes to their services. They will do anything they can at times to make quick money. But they often know that many seniors have a life savings and a pension, and so they could keep pressing you to hire them if they feel that you might be able to contribute to their well-being. Some ways to avoid some common construction scams is to not answer your door to strangers. This is something we learn when we're little kids. Don't answer your door to strangers selling their services. I don't care how many times they come back. I don't care if they are coming once a month to sell their services to you. You don't have to answer your door to them. Also, just say no. It's okay to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything. Don't feel like you're being impolite. These people are they're going door to door, or they're cold calling different various areas and trying to get at least one person to say yes to them, but that's not going to be you today. Don't make any cash payments. I can't emphasize this enough. There's no paper trail when it comes to cash payments. If you think about it, if you're making a cash payment and a potential unlicensed contractor has that in hand, they could run away with that money. You're never going to see it again. So I just think a rule of thumb is to never trust somebody who's asking for a cash payment. We also encourage our licensed contractors to not take cash payments as well. So how can you avoid some common construction scams? I recommend getting everything in writing. If there is a salesperson coming to your house and they give you an entire presentation about how they can upgrade all your windows in your house, and they promise different types of pricing, or they have you promise you different types of deals that they can give you, a senior discount, anything like that. Everything that they say should be in writing and in the contract, because verbal agreements are not binding. And so what you want to make sure is to read everything in that contract and make sure that everything that they're trying to sell you is detailed in writing. Additionally, we have many laws that our licensed contractors need to abide by, but we find that more commonly unlicensed contractors and sometimes licensed ones will ask for a large down payment. And I'm here to tell you that it's California law that down payments can only be 10% or $1,000 of the contract price, whichever is less. If you came away from this presentation today, I really want you to remember that. And I'm going to recommend that you always check a contractor's license number. And I'm going to go into further detail in that a little bit later in my presentation. You can do so on our website, or you can give us a call and we can help you look up a contractor license number for you. If you feel that you have been scammed, even if you think something is not right with this transaction, give us a call or visit our website. That is a screenshot of the homepage of our website, and you click the File a Complaint button to get started. Or you can email the CSLB info@cslb.ca.gov, and somebody will help. We will help you. That email address goes directly to me and my colleagues, and we will help facilitate your complaint for you and tell you exactly what you need to do. So I have about 10 tips that I want to share with you on how to find the right contractor for you and how to find the right person that you feel the most comfortable working with in and around your home. The best recommendation is to get at least 3 bids. I would say 3 to 5, and I'm not necessarily saying go for the least expensive or the most expensive. I always think a rule of thumb is to hire the person you feel the most comfortable working in and around your home. Definitely ask to see their pocket license and a current photo ID. And there's an example on my screen of what a pocket license looks like. It should have about a 7-digit number, which is their license number, and their name of their business, and the different classifications that they are classified to work in. And you ask for their photo ID just to compare that the name matches their pocket license. You can ask for proof of liability and workers' compensation insurance. With workers' compensation insurance, they have to have it if they have other workers on your property for this specific job. So it just covers their workers if anybody were to be injured on your property, and it also covers you as well, because you don't want anybody to blame you and blame that they were injured on your property and try to come after your wallet for their injuries. So you want to make sure they have workers' compensation insurance. You can also see that on our website. We have profiles for every licensed contractor on our website. And like I mentioned before, please make sure to get a detailed written contract before you make a down payment and before the work begins. I say don't pay any money until you completely understand the contract and you and the contractor are on the same page. And that's just something that I like to live by. Don't ever sign anything unless you fully understand the terms. And don't let payments get ahead of the work. We see this all the time. If you say you paid 50% of the contract before they even got started on anything, who's to tell you that that contractor or unlicensed contractor isn't going to be halfway to Disneyland with your money, because they didn't even have to start any work. You just went ahead and gave it to them. So you just want to be careful. Don't let any payments get ahead of the work. Make sure all everything in the contract is in writing, especially a schedule of when you're going to be paying them according to the job and the project. So here it is again. Pay no more than 10% of the contract price, whichever is less, when you are making your down payment. And I'm going to recommend that you keep all of your documents, all of your payments, photographs of the job, any emails, text messages. Keep that all together, because you might need to refer to it in the future. What if it was a really good experience you had with this contractor? You're going to want to make sure that you have all of the details of the contract and all of the details of the job together. But also, what if it was a bad experience? You're going to need some materials, you're going to need information, so that if you did have to file a complaint against this person, you have all of the project documents readily available as evidence. Seniors have 4 years from the date of the construction to file a complaint, but I recommend not waiting. Step forward. If you feel like you have been victimized by an unlicensed or licensed contractor, please come forward and file a complaint. It's the first step to take to getting rid of the headache of dealing with a situation like that. And if you're over 65, I want to remind you that you have a 5-day right to cancel any contract, and that's California law. So many of you know that solar is a booming industry right now in California, and it's going to continue to grow, and solar sales are going to continue to happen, and there's going to be many different businesses selling solar. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of information so that you're not going into anything blind if someone were to come and solicit for you to install solar panels on your home. So a few things to think about before you consider moving forward with solar is think about the length of time you're going to be in your home. If you're thinking about selling in the next 5 years, I recommend that's probably not a good idea to move forward with solar. You also have to consider the roof direction, and there are different solar calculators to show you if your monthly payments are they going to even out? They're going to show you your current electricity usage and if it's even worth it to go solar, because sometimes the payments with solar could be a little bit higher than what you're currently paying for your electricity bill. Also, if you do decide to go solar, just take a look at your monthly statements right now with your electricity usage. And like I said, do the math with it and just make sure that it's the right fit for you. And sometimes with solar, the your electricity usage could fluctuate. So just really take a hard look at those monthly statements and make sure that solar is the right fit for you. Some things to be aware of. We have seen some advertisements out there guaranteeing that solar could be free, and that is just not true. Solar is very much not free. And so I don't want you to be convinced by anyone that you can get free solar, free electricity, anything like that, because it's just very not true. Also, be aware of any financing programs. I've listed PACE, Hero, Chief, or Real. Those are the most common ones. It's really important to do your homework. Give us a call if you're considering one of these financing problems, and we have plenty of resources available for you on those. Also be aware that solar, you could have higher interest rates with solar, and they could be tied to your property taxes. So we don't want you to go into this blindly. I highly recommend visiting our website, cslb.ca.gov/solarsmart, and just educating yourself to make sure that solar is right for you. Additionally, I want you to protect yourself from fraud. That's why we're here today. So I mentioned this before. Don't let any of your payments get ahead of the work, and get absolutely everything in writing. Anything that that is mentioned in the sales pitch, I want it to be in the contract. And then just make sure that you understand the contract terms. Make sure they're in your native language. If you feel like you need some assistance with signing a contract, have a friend or family member look it over for you, or even give us a call and we'll help look it over for you. So as I mentioned before, I want you to always check a license. Always hire a licensed contractor for jobs worth $500 or more for labor and materials combined. You can visit our website and click the license check button to type in a license number and look up a licensed contractor profile, and it'll have the details of if they have any previous citations, if they're current, if they're active, if any sort of issues would be listed there. If they have liability insurance and workers' compensation insurance, that information will be on their licensing profile. And just in summary, I want to thank you all for listening to my presentation. Again, my name is Natalie Watmore. There is my contact information on the side. We are also available on social media. And a little quote from our registrar: the best way seniors can protect themselves against construction fraud is to check a license on our website and always get at least 3 bids. Thank you so much. And I'd like to now introduce Mary Beth from the Department of Insurance. Let me stop sharing. Sorry, I'm having some trouble unsharing my screen. 1 minute, please.
I think you can ask staff to unshare for you.
Is somebody available to unshare my screen for me? Thank you.
Yeah, and it looks like, I think from my end, it looks like it's unshared. So, but I'll check with my team. Mary Beth, if you want to get started. Oh, there we go. Perfect.
There we go.
And let me just say, I know some folks have asked in the Q&A, sorry to interrupt. I know some folks have asked in the Q&A whether or not the slides can be shared. We are going to add the slides to my website after the when we post the video on the website. It might take a couple of days, but absolutely we're going to have this is being recorded. We're going to have the recording of the seminar, and then we will also post the slides on the website as well. But we'll also answer that in the Q&A. So sorry to interrupt. Thanks so much, Natalie. Mary Beth, take it away.
Okay, thank you for the invite to be here today. I apologize right off that my camera's not working. My name is Mary Beth, and I am a Northern California Outreach Analyst in the Community Relations and Outreach branch of the California Department of Insurance. We refer to it as CDI. My job is to inform the public about all the available services we provide as well as public notices and other valuable information. Today, I'll give a brief overview about CDI and then talk about our most common scams. I want to start off with some concrete information about CDI. First off, we do not sell insurance. We are a state agency and we regulate the insurance marketplace. California is the largest insurance market in the US and the fourth largest in the world. Insurance companies collect over $340 billion annually in premiums. Our current insurance commissioner is Ricardo Lara. He is a statewide elected official, so you and we all elected him and put him in that position. All of CDI's functions are to protect consumers. We regulate most lines of insurance and maintain insurer solvency. We set standards for the agents and brokers that sell insurance. We perform market conduct reviews of insurance companies. We resolve consumer insurance complaints, and we investigate and prosecute fraud. As a consumer, if you ever have a problem with your insurance company, agent, or broker, please call us for help. Our consumer services team helped more than 40,000 consumers and recovered over $134 million in insurance benefits in the first 5 months of 2023 alone. So reports indicate that seniors are the largest population targeted for scams. So why are seniors such big targets? I think you've heard this before. It's because seniors have accumulated wealth. Seniors have money accumulated in their homes, life insurance, and retirement savings. And there are people in the world that want to steal a piece of your hard-earned savings. For fiscal year 22-23, which ended in June of this year, our investigation division opened 13 cases involving seniors, and there are approximately 38 ongoing cases statewide. 6 cases resulted in criminal conviction, and another 5 cases resulted in actions by the legal division. Approximately $788,000 was either recovered. $390,000 was either ordered criminal restitution or recovered from fines this past year alone. So the good news is that there are a lot of protection programs for seniors out there. So let's talk about some popular scams. When I say scams, it's not to make you afraid or paranoid. I like to consider it as strengthening your intuition, just like when you strengthen the rest of your body. Your intuition needs to be exercised as well so that we pay attention to the warning signs or red lights that we may encounter. Our common insurance scams include premium theft, auto-staged accidents, and COVID-19 fraud. Premium theft occurs when you buy an insurance policy from an agent or broker and they never actually buy or place the policy with an insurance company. And you may be thinking to yourself, how can that actually happen if people receive receipts or they have copies of their policies and they still get statements? Some scam agents, whether they are currently licensed or not, will go to great lengths to steal. We have arrested and prosecuted agents for grand theft, elder abuse, money laundering, security violations, and aggravated white-collar crime enhancements. Our website has a check a license page with multiple ways you can look up an agent's license. You can verify the license status, the agent's educational history, the associated business entity license records, listed company profiles, as well as any enforcement actions. Next is staged auto accident fraud. Believe it or not, this still occurs on a regular basis. So if you get into an accident and you think it's your fault, but you get that gut feeling that sometimes, something just doesn't feel right, take a deep breath. This is your intuition check. Don't feel rushed to make any decisions at the accident site, and don't admit fault. Call the police and report it to your insurance company. Do not tell anyone about your insurance policy or the coverage limits. You do, of course, have to exchange your insurance carrier information, but nothing more. Listen to your instincts, call the police, call your insurance company. And although they're not as prevalent, there still exist COVID-19 scams. So don't let scammers prey on your fears by offering you free tests in exchange for personal information. Be cautious of all unsolicited requests for that personal information, especially Medicare and Medi-Cal account numbers. Be suspicious of all unexpected phone calls, texts, or visitors. Do not open emails from unknown individuals with hyperlinks and text about COVID-19. Ignore all the offers or ads for testing or treatments on social media. They are trying to steal your information. Once scammers have this personal information, they can use it to fraudulently bill federal health care programs or commit medical identity theft. If Medi-Cal or Medicare deny the claim, then you could be held responsible for the cost. And lastly, according to CBI's Silicon Valley Fraud Office, seniors and homeowners are currently being targeted with one particular fraud, the vehicle warranty. Unlicensed companies are selling extended vehicle warranties, sometimes called vehicle service contracts, through robocalls. If you pick up the phone and hear we are trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty, hang up the phone. It is illegal in California to sell extended vehicle warranties over the phone or through the internet. If you have been sold one of these policies, please call us so we can investigate. If you suspect any fraud, take action, report it immediately to the Office of Inspector General online at oig.hha.gov or call 1-800-447-8477. So one of the most popular scams involving insurance is an annuity. And why is that? It's because Californians spend an average of $20 billion on annuities. An annuity is a contract between you and the insurance company. You buy it by making one or more premium payments, and then they in return make income payments to you for a fixed period of time in the future. It's often used as an investment vehicle for retirement income. It's sold by licensed insurance agents, usually those with a financial background. And growth annuities are also tax deferred, so they can be very attractive. But they're great for some and not so great for others. And that's because there is a 7-year surrender charge. There's a big penalty for you if you take your money out if you need it, maybe even in case of an emergency. But agents love to sell it because there is a big upfront commission. So if you buy an annuity and then your agent contacts you 12 or 18 months later and says he's found a better annuity for you and you need to switch now, take your time, think about it. What are the implications for you? Most likely you're going to be hit with a penalty for the early withdrawal, but it's another upfront commission for the agent, and you might even have another tax implication on top of that. But if you have been working with a financial advisor, somebody you can trust, and they know your financial goals and your risk tolerance, etc., and they explain why it makes sense as part of diversifying your portfolio, then it may work for you. But don't make the decision to buy one right away. Sleep on it, talk it over with a family member or someone you can trust. So why are insurance scam warning signs? Now, we all know the saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. The agent offers free seminars in sites like assisted living centers, retirement communities, or places of worship or nice restaurants for a free meal. The agent offers to create or update a living trust in order to see your financial information. They are trying to find new clients that can potentially be worth a lot more money to them than the free living trust that they are offering. They want your financial information, and it is up to you to guard it. Remember, there is no title called Senior Retirement Living Trust Specialist. This is their own designation. Seniors also have more rights when it comes to insurance, and it's called the Senior Insurance Bill of Rights, and the full list can be found on our website. One of these rights is that you may review a policy of life, annuity, long-term care, or Medicare supplement for 30 days after you receive the policy in order to decide whether you wish to keep it. If you decide you do not want the policy, you can return it for a full refund, except for the exception of variable annuities. So what can you do to avoid becoming a victim of insurance fraud? Check the status of the insurance company and agent on our website and make sure they are in good standing. You should always answer all questions thoroughly and truthfully. False statements or omissions can cancel the policy. Do not leave any blank spaces on an application. Dishonest agents can fill in blanks without your approval. Get everything in writing and compare policies. Don't pay with cash. Make checks payable to the insurance company or the agency business name and never in the agent's name. Don't buy coverage you can't afford and only buy the coverage that you need. And most important, ask questions. What does the policy cover? What is not covered? What is the cost? What is the payment schedule? If you cancel, are there any surrender charges? And is it suitable for you at your current situation and current plans? And never feel pressured or intimidated. Consider having a trusted friend with you. And agents know that they should never use high pressure sales tactics. And lastly, never sign anything you do not understand. So what can you do to protect yourself? Once again, don't engage, don't be polite, be stingy with your personal information, change your passwords, hang up the phone, stop being so nice like we all are. And if you suspect fraud, call someone, report it. The first three organizations here are where to call to report fraud. And the last is a website where you can learn more about current insurance scams. And next up are some resources just for seniors. We have a senior gateway, which is hosted by CDI, and it's a one-stop website intended to provide seniors, their families, and caregivers with the information they need to connect for helpful services and resources. This includes information on topics such as avoiding and reporting abuse and neglect, preventing fraud, financial abuse, and common scams, and healthcare information. So please visit seniors.insurance.ca.gov. And we also have informational guides specifically for seniors about annuities, driving tips, the Senior Insurance Bill of Rights, and others. All of our guides are free, and they're also available in on PDF form on our website. And we can also mail some to you or any organization that serves seniors. And if you have any questions about your current insurance policy, new policy, or if you've been denied coverage, a claim, or canceled, or if you want to report fraud, please call our consumer hotline at 800-927-4357. And we have experts that can assist you on the phone and help you with any sort of insurance questions that you need. Or you can visit our website at insurance.ca.gov. Thanks so much for your time. And now I'm going to hand it over to Sally Westlake. Thank you, Sally.
Thank you, Mary Beth. Give me a second here to share my screen. Great. Whether it's impersonating government officials or claiming to offer financial assistance, scammers are unrelenting in their attempt to con older adults. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sally Westlake, and I'm the Targeted Outreach Specialist from the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Thank you all for joining us today, and thank you, Assemblyman Berman, for hosting this very important webinar for our older adults. What can you do to protect yourself from fraud, financial fraud, and scams, and from becoming the next victim? Okay, so I'm going to start off with this important information about this presentation. The views and opinions expressed in this presentation are those of the presenter, me. They do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the DFPI. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only. This is not financial advice and does not replace independent or professional judgment. The DFPI does not assume responsibility for the completeness of the information presented in this presentation. For more information, please visit our website at dfpi.ca.gov or email us at outreach@dfpi.ca.gov. Before I get started, please, if you have any questions, please use the box below on your screen, Q&A, and type in your questions, and we'll be able to hopefully answer them at the end. Stop, look, and think before you click, tap, or send money. If you remember anything from my presentation today, remember to stop, look, and think. Department of Financial Protection Innovation, DFPI, and formerly the Department of Business Oversight. We are a state agency, a consumer protection agency, and we regulate, license, and oversee financial service providers, institutions, financial products, and professionals. So before you do business with any new financial institution or professionals, please check their license to make sure they're in good standing. You can visit our website again or call us at our toll-free number, 866-275-2677. Now, here's a list of some of the institutions and service providers that we regulate. It includes California state-chartered banks and credit unions, your residential mortgage loan originators and servicers, also California finance lenders, your PACE administrators, like for solar that Natalie mentioned earlier, your escrow agents, payday loans, money transmitters like Western Union, and cash apps like PayPal, Zelle, Venmo, your investment advisors, broker-dealers, franchisees, debt collectors, credit repair agencies, consumer credit reporting companies, and many more. So a complete list can be found on our website at dfpi.ca.gov. Anyone afraid to answer the phone nowadays? We have to be careful when you don't know who's going to be on the other end of that phone. Methods of contact that scammers are using to contact our older adults, and these are called vishing, which is using your telephone, whether it's a landline or a cell phone, and leaving messages. There's smishing, when they send text messages on your cell phone, SMS messages with a link, with a click here or a callback toll-free number. And then, of course, phishing. So when they send you emails that look very real with links or attachments. One thing all of these contacts have in common is that they create a sense of urgency, and it tries to get you to act or take action by playing on your emotions with a single goal in mind, which is stealing your money. So one common scam the bad actors use is the grandparent or relative scam. You might receive a call late at night. It says, "Grandpa, Grandpa, it's me. Tommy, is that you?" "Yes, Grandpa. I was in Mexico surfing and I got in a fight and I need your help. But please don't tell my mom and dad." Then you might get an, quote, officer get in the call and say, "Yes, Tommy was a bad boy, and if he doesn't receive bail tonight, he'll have to spend a weekend in jail." The caller might use deception, intimidation, and coercion to force you to act quickly. What do? Tommy's your favorite grandson. You want to stop, look, and think. Take a minute. Do not rush and just take the information down from the quote officer. After you hang up the phone, you call Tommy. You call his parents. You call his siblings to find out if he really was in Mexico. You may also want to set up a family safe word, something that only your family members would know, so that you can confirm if anything like this happens, that your family member might really be in danger. Have them confirm. Ask the officer, can you have Tommy confirm our family password? So what will you not do? You are not going to wire money. You're not buying prepaid gift cards or sending money, cryptocurrency, or money in any other way. When scammers target you in scams like grandparent scam, they have done their research. They've been on your social media accounts. They have found Tommy's social media accounts to know that he loves to surf in Mexico. So when you can confirm that Tommy is safe and at home, then you want to report this scam to the local authorities. The grandparent relative scam has now evolved using AI, artificial intelligence, and voice cloning. Now, this is a real example of using AI. Mom, these bad men have me. A mother receives a call. It sounded exactly like her daughter. A scammer gets on the phone and says, you have to wire $5,000 right now, or you'll never see your daughter again. Ask them to confirm the identity by asking to verify the family password. Call your family members to confirm and verify. The scammers used just one recorded word from the daughter, and using AI, they were able to create the sentence that was so perfect that it can even fool the mother. So please remember that this type of scam can happen. It's out there. So again, stop, look, and think before you act. So government business imposter scams, it can start with spoofing. Scammers can call you and make their number look like it's coming from any other number, like it's coming from the IRS or the Social Security Administration or Medicare. Just remember that government agencies will not call you out of the blue. If they need to reach you, they'll send it to you in writing. And government agencies will not threaten you with arrest, with issuing a warrant, or asking for payment over the phone. A business imposter scam example, maybe you have a message on your answering machine that says, Mrs. Jones, this is your bank and we found some irregular transactions in your account. Please call us back immediately at 888-SCAMS. What can you do? Do not call the number left on your answering machine or voicemail. You never know who's going to be on the other end of that call if you can't verify the number that you called. What can you do? Go to the source. Call the bank at the number found in the back of your debit card. Google the real customer service number, or even go to your local branch and verify if there really is an issue. Now, if you find yourself in a call with an unsolicited caller, just hang up. You do not have to be nice. Say no and hang up. Do not engage. Scammers are so good at what they do. The longer you're on the phone with them, the more information they can gather, all in a very short amount of time. The best thing you can do is not answer a call from an unknown caller, from a number that is not in your contacts. Let them leave a message, because you can always call them back. Now, what can we do to protect ourselves when it comes to cyber safety? Two schools of thought when it comes to passwords. Before, we were told to change our passwords every 90 days. But then we started to run out of really good passwords. And then we actually started creating easier passwords, making it easier for the scammers. So now, if you have a good, unique password for an account that you feel hasn't been compromised in any way, then consider keeping it. But if you feel your password for an account is no longer safe, or unique, or good, then you should change it. And remember, the longer the password, it used to be 8 characters. Now we're looking at 16, 20, 25 characters to consider it really safe. Consider using paraphrases, and of course include characters and numbers. Please don't use 987654. There's also two-step verification or multi-factor authentication. This is just another step to keep our account safe from hackers and thieves and scammers, and it helps to verify that it really is you attempting to access the account. So once you enter your password, your account holder may ask you to select an option for them to send you a one-time code to enter. You can have it sent to your cell phone, texted to you, maybe sent via email, or even they might call you. This is to confirm and verify that it is you and that your password hasn't been hacked. Yes, it can be cumbersome and it may take an extra minute, but it is for your protection. So if your financial institution or business asks you to set up an MFA, please consider doing so. Now let's talk about social media. If you have 400 friends on Facebook, that's great. But do you know all those 400 people? Are they really your friends? If you have 400 followers on Instagram, are they your friends? It can be scammers following your accounts to gain personal information. So please limit what you post and share on social media. Do you really need to post to where you're going to be today? Do you need to let everyone know that you're leaving for Hawaii and your Doberman Pinscher dog is at doggy daycare and your neighbor is going to be picking up the mail? Just too much information for scammers and thieves that you're posting and sharing on social media. So, what can you do to protect yourself? Never give personal information unless you initiated the contact. Know who's going to be on the other end of that phone call. Limit personal identifying information. Unknown calls and numbers, don't answer. And if you happen to get on a call with them, remember, hang up. It's okay to say no and just hang up. Don't return phone calls left on voice messages, on voicemails. Remember to go to the source. Government agencies do not call you out of the blue. Do not click on any links sent via text or email. Consider monitoring and freezing your credit. Currently, under federal law, you are allowed a free credit report from the 3 major credit reporting agencies, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. It used to be once a year from each of the 3 credit reporting agencies. Well, now it is once a week. You can pull your credit report. Now, not everyone's going to need to look at their credit report at once a week, but if you are done accessing your credit, please consider freezing your credit. Freeze your credit with all 3 of the credit reporting agencies. It just means no one can open up any more credit in your account. That's including you. So if you, let's say you are going to help Tommy get a car, your favorite grandson, then you are going to have to unfreeze your credit. It can be free and it's easy to do by contacting all 3 of the credit reporting agencies. And that information is available, again, on our website. Remember, do not send money via gift card, wire transfer, cryptocurrency. Remember to verify that there is an issue. And then you're going to want to go to the source yourself by getting the real phone number and website. Remember that most scams rely on our older victims panicking, becoming flustered to make hasty decisions. If a licensee is breaking the law, please submit a complaint. Hearing from our consumers is one key way for the department to learn about wrongdoing by financial service providers. If we do not license the company or people you're complaining about, the department will forward your complaint to the appropriate state or federal agency. Remember, you can contact us at dfpi.ce.gov. You can call us at 866-275-2677. You can email us at ask.dfpi@dfpi.ce.gov. And if you would like us to participate in a presentation, you can also email us at outreach@dfpi.ce.gov. You can also subscribe to our monthly newsletter called The Consumer Connection. Please, all this information can be found again on our website. And remember to stop, look, and think before you click, tap, or send money. Thank you for your time today and for joining us. And now I'd like to turn it back over to Assemblyman Berman for our Q&A session.
Thank you, Sally. Thank you, Mary Beth. Thank you, Natalie. Those are fantastic presentations, and actually, kind of reminded me of some scams that people have attempted to pull on me, that I've heard from my parents, from my in-laws, that I've heard about things happening throughout the community. So, really appreciate those incredibly substantive and informative presentations. I want to just say again for everybody, if you didn't catch it earlier, we're going to post to my website the video of today's presentation. We are also going to post links to the slides. And so I know a bunch of folks were asking about that. All that information will be available on my website. It might take a couple of days to get it up there, but it will definitely be made available to everybody here today and to those who weren't able to participate today. Also, a quick reminder for folks, if you have any questions, please post it in the Q&A. I know folks have already been doing that, so we've got a list of questions to ask, but if you haven't had a chance to do that yet, please go ahead. So the first question that I'm going to ask came from Lori, and Lori asked, can you talk about travel insurance? I don't, maybe that's Mary Beth, but I don't know if there's much that can be said about concerns around travel insurance and scams in regards to travel insurance.
I'm not aware of that. That hasn't popped up at all about being a problem. I myself don't typically get insurance for traveling, but I know a lot of people are nervous about it, and they will pay for that. But
perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and to the person who asked that question, if there's specific details or a specific question in regards to travel insurance, feel free to follow up in the Q&A to provide that information, and we can look into it more. So another question was, does DFPI monitor realtors in addition to the other service providers listed, like brokers, insurance, etc.? The family home is the biggest financial asset for most people. Have heard from many seniors that realtors, or at least people who claim to be realtors, either on the phone, text, snail mail, asking and putting pressure if you want to sell your home. Full disclosure, my mother is a realtor. I know she would never do this, but I have no doubt there are bad actors out there. Is anybody aware of scams that have to do with realtors or people pretending to be realtors?
We're not really aware of too many of those scams. I mean, I personally have gotten text messages, but that would be a really good question for the Department of Real Estate. And if for anybody looking to get in contact with them, they can email me and I can get them in touch with the Department of Real Estate.
Fantastic. Thank you, Natalie. And also, to the questioner, I don't have that person's name on my doc, but if they want to follow up with our office, we can also connect them with the Department of Real Estate. I appreciate that, Natalie. The next question is for Sally. The DFPI regulates investment advisors. Investment advisors are also regulated by FINRA and the Securities Exchange Commission. What is the DFPI regulating, and where can I find out if the investment advisor is regulated by the DFPI when they are already regulated by the SEC?
Yes, so investment advisors are regulated at the state and federal levels. So that's what we're looking at, is that at the state level, they are going to be licensed through the DFPI. So you can go on our website and look up their license by their name, or if you have their license number. But yes, FINRA, SEC, as well as the DFPI.
Great. Thank you, Sally. An overarching question, which might be a little more appropriate for the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is what are the California and federal governments, and obviously you all work for the state, not for the federal government, but what are state and federal agencies doing to eradicate these scams?
Well, the department has, a legal branch where we prosecute people. So we need to hear from the public if there's something going on, or if they have a complaint, contact the department and we take them to court.
Perfect. I assume that's kind of the same answer for everybody.
At the Contractor State License Board, we do fine and cite unlicensed contractors or licensees who are not abiding the law, and we we hold sting operations across the state to invite unlicensed contractors to single family home to bid on jobs, and if they bid over the legal amount of $500, then they are fined and cited on the spot.
Awesome. And I imagine people's licenses, depending on the severity of the violation, people's licenses can be taken away.
Yes, that does happen. Just depends on the situation. It could be a serial I guess many incidences in one area where a licensed contractor or unlicensed contractors taking advantage of maybe an entire zip code of people. So we have seen that, and licenses can be revoked if it is very severe.
Thanks.
And from DFPI, if I can add, we have actually
Please.
shut down businesses, and it can be multi-million-dollar businesses, and we might coordinate with other state agencies along with federal agencies to shut down businesses that are doing things illegally in the state of California. So that helps, I guess, eradicate some scams, but unfortunately, once you shut down one bad business, one bad actor, another one pops up. It's kind of like whack-a-mole. But if you'd like more information regarding some of our enforcement actions and what we've done, you can please visit our website and take a look at our current press releases.
Thanks, Sally. And that's why we do this event every year. We do it every year because the scams are constantly changing, and people are, like you were talking about earlier, with using artificial intelligence, getting one word with the way somebody says it, and then extrapolating that to a full sentence or a couple of sentences. You know, we constantly have to be vigilant. I've had some bills in that space. We constantly have to be vigilant about bad people's ability to use technology to trick good people. And awareness is such a big part of defense against that. So that's what we're doing here today. So somebody asked, I use a password app and it works pretty well, but they're switching to something called passkeys. What is a passkey? Is anybody able to provide a little more information on what a passkey is? If not, maybe we'll get that person's information, email, and we can get back to them with a little more information about passkeys. I'm personally myself not intimately familiar, and we don't want to give folks wrong information. Next question is, how secure are the GoFundMe requests? I'm sure everybody has seen GoFundMe. It's a great website. When something bad happens to somebody, they can they can create a GoFundMe page and try to get folks to donate to help them deal with whatever situation it is that they're facing in life. But there's a constant concern around scams with GoFundMe. Are folks hearing at all about GoFundMe scams, and what should we be worried about there?
So it's not something that we regulate directly, but the scam that I've heard around GoFundMe is that the end user, the person who's setting it up, claiming to, let's say, might have cancer and asking for donations for medical bills, but she actually doesn't. So it's the end user, the person trying to collect money would be the scammer. And actually the link, I haven't seen anything where somebody set up a GoFundMe page and the money is going to a wrong account.
Yeah.
So that's the type of scam that I've heard of.
Yeah.
I can make a suggestion just from like a consumer protection perspective. If you're not sure of the person who set up the GoFundMe, you don't know them, I would highly suggest or recommend just not responding to it, and don't donate any of your money to it if you don't know who it's directly going to or helping, for that matter.
It's like you all said in your presentations, be skeptical. Start off being very skeptical. I'm as guilty as anyone of wanting to say yes, wanting to help people, wanting to hear them out, wanting to give them a chance. But this has to do with your resources. Be skeptical and don't necessarily if you don't know or it seems fishy, don't do it. Seems like the right kind of lesson to follow. So somebody wrote, I am the victim who was scammed to trade cryptocurrency on a fake Coinbase platform 1 month ago through a person known from WhatsApp, through a WhatsApp pickleball group. Oh, wow. Ended up with a loss of over $500,000. They've reported it to the local police department and the FBI's website to recover their loss, but it's not going anywhere. Are there any other resources that they can ask for help?
So yes, you're going to want to report it to us. We do have a crypto scam tracker, and we're basically at this point doing data collection. There is minimal repercussions, regulation when it comes to regulating cryptocurrency fraud. There is a lot of that fraud going on. And the only thing I can say is if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Similar scams start with somebody saying, "Oh, hey, look, my cousin is a great trader. Look how much money he's made me." And you start off, okay, well, yeah, I put in $500 and I made, $5,000. And that's how it starts. But it's only on paper. They see, a fake statement that shows that they've got all this increase, that they've got all this amount of money. But then when they want to withdraw the money, that's when they say, "Oh, well, you have to pay taxes. Well, you have to pay fees." And then some people even actually pay the taxes, give the scammers more money, right? And pay for the fees. And all of it, once the scammers think that they've gotten enough money from you, all that they can, that's when they're gone. And you never hear from them. And unfortunately, the likelihood of retrieving your money is going to be very hard. No.
So, and Sally, remind me, or we'll put the slides on the website. But what's the best way to get out to you or to reach you or DFPI again?
It's at www.dfpi.ca.gov, and you can file a complaint online, or you can start by calling us at 866-275-2677.
Perfect. Thank you, Sally. Do any of the state agencies regulate senior retirement communities?
I'm not sure in what way would they be regulated.
It might depend on kind of the harm that's being done. Similar to the other one, my staff will get this person's contact info to try to get more information, and we can get back to them and kind of point them in the right direction. I know that senior retirement communities are pretty heavily regulated, but to Natalie's point, it might depend on what the accusation is. That'll help determine which state agency is responsible. Another question is, I realize how vulnerable seniors are when I see elderly relatives answer every phone call and give money away. How can we spot dementia in our elderly family members and protect them? And let me say, if I get a phone call and I don't know what the number is, straight to voicemail every time. I don't care who. It's just not. If it's important, they can leave a voicemail, and half the time that voicemail is a robot recording that's obviously a scam. But I bet if I'd picked up that phone when that person called, it would have been a human, right? It would have been a human who would have started into their scam story to try to take advantage of me. So I guess, both on the answering the phones and then also the question of how can we spot dementia in our elderly family members. I don't know if anybody wants to answer that, or that might be a medical, a bit more of a medical question, but I'll throw it to our panelists.
I don't know the answer to that, but we do have that senior website on our CDI's website, and there's a lot of wealth of information there, and that would be a place to start besides calling your medical doctor.
I was going to say another person would be to call your doctor and ask them, but I appreciate that, Mary Beth. So there's a seniors kind of page on your website. Regarding, I'm sorry?
It's seniors.ca.gov.
Seniors.ca.gov. Perfect. Thank you. So seniors.ca.gov. And then regarding contractors, would you be wary if a licensed contractor gives an estimate on the spot that's much more than $500? For example, $25,000 to $50,000.
It really depends on the job that they are bidding on. We don't regulate pricing in the contractor world. It's up to each individual business owner. It's definitely something to look into. It really depends on the job. And if they are licensed, I would take a look on our website and look at their license profile to see if they have any restrictions or if they've had any accusations against their license. I would also ask the contractor for references so that you can drive by, say if it's like for a fence or concrete pouring, or they built a carport, something like that, so that you could drive by and check out the work that they've done. Those are my recommendations, but that's why we do suggest to get at least 3 to 5 bids so that you have a range of what the cost of the project will be. And that's the best recommendation that I can give for something like that. Wary, yes, if it's just one contractor that you got the bid from, but definitely do your homework when you're hiring someone and paying those types of prices.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Natalie. Is the Department of Real Estate different from the California Association of Realtors, who regulates real estate agents?
The Department of Real Estate, from what I understand, licenses real estate agents. So if you're talking about licensed agents, you would contact them directly.
That's right. And California Association of Realtors, that's the association for realtors. So that is not a government agency. That is essentially the trade association of realtors that a lot of realtors belong to. Follow-up question for Sally. Can investment advisors from other states sell in California without a DFPI license if they are working with a local broker dealer?
The investment, anyone, if they're licensed out of state, but they are wanting to do business in California, have to be licensed through the DFPI.
Got it.
The California state license.
So if they are calling you and they're saying, hey, I want to help you invest your money, they're calling a California resident, they have to be licensed with DFPI.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Question for Natalie. Contractors and arborists are required to have insurance coverage or bond of $25,000. Is this sufficient coverage for consumers? What else can consumers do to protect themselves from contractor liability and workman compensation liability?
That is a very complex question, and I would really like if you could email me directly so that I can facilitate a more comprehensive answer for that.
Perfect. So my staff will go back to that person and get them your email so that they can reach out to you and make sure that we get them the right advice, the right guidance. Somebody asked, I have Experian Identity Works and got a message that my email address was found on the dark web. I have 2-step verification and changed my password. Any other suggestions?
That's the best that you can do. That's the most that you can do. Unfortunately, when something's already been posted on the dark web, there's not a whole lot you can do to remove it. But because your information was sold or posted on the dark web doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to impact you today. It may show up, they may use it, it may get sold and used, 5 years down the line. So the best thing you can do is check your credit report regularly, annually at least. Report that your information potentially could have been exposed. Put a freeze on your credit, and then change your passwords for all your accounts that you think might have been used.
Great. Thank you, Sally. A question for Natalie. What are you seeing with regards to senior scams targeting women who need contractor services? Are senior women being taken advantage of more than senior men?
We don't technically collect that statistical data, but I think being a woman, I understand where this question is coming from. And I know that the licensed contractor world is heavily dominated by males. We are trying to influence more women to become contractors in the field for various reasons. And, that's a tough question to answer, but I think that as a woman, if you are getting different bids from different types of contractors, always be wary who you're letting in and around your home. They're all strangers, whether licensed or not. And I just think that hiring the person that you feel the most comfortable working with and can communicate with clearly and has everything detailed in the contract clearly, and you understand that that's the professional that you want to hire for the job.
Thank you, Natalie. A question that I can relate to: what can be done about the barrage of text messages? And I don't know if y'all might not have an answer for this, and if not, we can follow up. We can try to reach out to folks who might. What can be done about the barrage of text messages asking for donations to political parties and political candidates? I don't know how they got my number, and I think this would be an easy way to scam seniors.
So one suggestion for any text that you get, whether it's asking you to confirm if this is your account, whether did you attempt to do a $500 Zelle transaction, this is a fraud activity alert from your Chase Bank. What you want to do with these text messages is do not respond. Okay, do not respond yes, do not respond no, do not click on any links, do not call that telephone number. And all you want to do is delete it. Delete the message. Blocking the number, okay, great, except it can just come from another number tomorrow, right? These are robocall messages that's coming out to you. It costs the scammers, almost nothing to send out these messages. So what you want to do is make sure you do not engage with any of this type of text that are coming through. Only if you think there is an issue, again, you're going to go to the source and call back the real number, whether it's to your bank, whether it's to Zelle, whatever issues you think potentially could happen.
Yeah. And I mean, probably 3 or 4 times a week, if not more, I get a text of, hey, are we still on for tennis? Or, hi, this is Tommy, I've got your phone number in my phone. Do we know each other? And it's just like you said, straight delete. Like, don't reply. Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up, Assemblyman. That is how the cryptocurrency scams start. It starts off as a friendly text message that they sent by mistake and say, oh, hey, it'll say, hi, Natalie, how are you? And I can respond and say, oh, you have the wrong number. And they're starting a conversation. And that's how it starts, the cryptocurrency. So again, just delete. I know our older adults or seniors, want to be really nice and respond and say, no, you made a mistake. Please stop. Do not engage and just delete.
Yeah, no, that's great. I didn't realize that was how the cryptocurrency scams start. So that is very good to know. Thank you for that heads up. Yeah, no, that's very helpful information. Does the state, kind of along those similar lines, does the state have any way to shut down robocallers, texters, emailers?
So there's new legislation, and I think it was the FBI that came out with it, where they said they stopped a number of these robocallers, and that if they violated this new rule, that they could be fined. Unfortunately, a lot of these robocalls are starting from other countries.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard to catch them. And once you catch them, they just pop up at another location. Yeah. So yes, our country, our federal government, our state government try, obviously, to stop these robocalls and scams from happening. But again, it's so prevalent. It's really hard to stop it completely.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's so cheap. That's the blessing and the curse of technology is it's so cheap and easy for all of us to communicate, for all of us to connect, but that also makes it cheap and easy for people to constantly come up with new emails, new phone numbers, new, whatever to reach out to us in unscrupulous ways and try to take advantage of us. So it's on us to be very skeptical, right from the get-go when it's somebody who we don't know. I have a question. This is from Beverly. says, I booked a flight online. A mistake was made and I had to call back. It turned out that a third party got my call and told me he could help. I went along with it and was charged an extra charge by him of about 2/3 of the actual cost of the original ticket. On complaining to the airline and my credit card company, it was deemed deceptive but not fraudulent. They said that I've already done the travel, but this still smarts. This still hurts. So I don't know if anybody has thoughts on that situation. I don't know how a third party got the call, but I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on that situation. I'm not seeing anybody jump in. Maybe Beverly, maybe if you can give us some more information about how a third party kind of got involved, that could be helpful. That sounds like a bad business practice by the airline. But I hear you. That's terribly frustrating. We've had some efforts around hotels and booking hotels, and so maybe this is an area to consider for possible future legislation. We've had there's a bill this year, and forgive me, 3,000 bills get introduced every year, and so I don't remember the specific details off the top of my head, but it has to do with if you book a hotel that you get the opportunity to cancel it within 24 hours. It was by Senator Glazer, but this is a similar concept of, you're doing something, you make a mistake, you notice it immediately. Can we make sure that consumers have the ability within a certain fair time frame to change that, to correct that mistake that they made? Along those lines, the question is, Mark, what's happening on the legislative front regarding any new consumer protection laws that we can look forward to? So it's November 2nd. The new legislative session will start in January. We can't introduce bills until, I think, January 3rd, January 4th. So it's a little early to tell what's going to be introduced next year. If people have ideas, let me know. Now's the time where we're starting to kick around ideas for legislation for next year. I have had consumer protection bills every year for the past 3 years. 3 years ago, I had a bill two years ago, 2021, I had a bill that to make it easier for consumers to cancel your subscriptions online. I know we've all had the experience. It's so easy to sign up for something. It's so easy to give somebody our credit card information and start paying for a service. But when it comes to canceling the service, they make you call a 1-800 number between 3 and 5 a.m. every other Tuesday, as long as it's right before a full moon. And that's just wrong. People's business practices shouldn't be dependent on having people pay for something they don't want. And so that bill said, and it's now law, says that if you can sign up for something online, you should be able to cancel it online, and you should be able to cancel it as easily as when you signed up for it. My bill this year had to do with junk hotel fees. I know we've all, you sign up for a hotel, and the price that they advertise on their website when you're looking at different dates is $100, and then you click on some links, and by the time you get to that last step, they say, oh, but there's a $35 a night resort fee, even though all they have is a bathtub. There's a destination fee, there's a cleaning fee. These are junk fees that if people want to charge for them, they can, but that should be in the upfront cost. That should be in the upfront advertised price of the room, so that they're not tricking you into going down these steps of providing your information and providing your credit card information and then charging you at the last second. So every year there are a couple of dozen consumer protection bills introduced. They don't all become law, but a lot of them do. If folks have any ideas, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm happy to consider ideas for the 2024 year. A question from Dave. We are using a licensed contractor that completed half of the job, but after several months has not returned to complete the job. We have not paid for the complete job, but we want it completed. How can you help?
Please contact CSLB. Give us a call. You can call me directly. My phone number is 916-255-3915. And I can direct you on how to move forward with that process. And we even have mediation services so that if this is a licensed contractor, then we could get the two of you in touch and mediate the situation for you. So hopefully we can get that person back and to complete the job for you. If they are unreachable, I would suggest coming forward and filing a complaint. But I want to get the initial details from you and get you in touch with the correct division of our enforcement units.
Perfect. Thank you, Natalie. And can you give us that phone number one more time?
Yes, my direct line is 916-255-3915.
Perfect. Thank you, Natalie. Do we have any info on how to tell? Do we have any info on how to tell a real text message from a fake one?
I would say a real text message is if it comes from somebody that you know, right? Somebody in your contacts.
Yeah.
But if you get a text message from someone or an entity of business that you did not ask, you did not give them your phone number to be texted back from, then I would say that's a fake message. Example, when I make an appointment on the DMV website, it asks, do you want to be texted back as a reminder for your appointment? If I say yes, and I get a text reminder message from DMV, obviously that's real because I asked for it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I happen to, out of the blue, get a text message from the IRS, that's probably not going to be real because I never gave them my number to text me with any information.
Mm-hmm. And this might have gotten covered before. I might have missed it, but another one of these scams is I get a text message from a random number and it says, "Hey, this is UPS. We tried to deliver your package. You weren't home. Click this link to change the delivery date or change the delivery details for your package." I get one of those once a month, probably. Again, just delete it. It's probably fake. If it isn't fake, they'll find a different way to notify you. They'll come by your door and leave the sticky note on your door that says that they tried to deliver a package. But even if there was a package, it's not worth the $75 t-shirt to possibly and likely end up it being a scam and you losing a whole lot more than that. So just be super skeptical of everything that you get from a random phone number. That's got to be the default. I had a recent call from someone who said from a guy who said he was from Customs and Border Patrol. This is funny. This kind of has to do. It's not funny, but it has to do with packages. He gave me his name and badge number and said that Customs and Border Patrol had just intercepted a suspicious package. Normally, I would just hang up, but recently I'd had interaction with Customs and Border Patrol to renew my global entry status, so I engaged him. He kept asking for my name. Red flag. If he had a package, why would my phone number but not my name be on it? I should never have engaged in the first place and never gave him my name, but clearly he had called a phone number and now wanted a name to connect to it. Be careful out there. How would Customs and Border Patrol legitimately contact me? So if Customs and Border Patrol had a legitimate issue, how would they normally reach out to somebody where they had an issue?
In writing. They would send you a letter in writing and say, hey, we have your package. Here's where you can pick it up. Here's the toll-free number that you can call. And that's what you're looking for, is an official letter coming from any governmental agency in writing.
Thank you, Sally. And it goes back to earlier, just slow down, because oftentimes we don't realize this stuff until afterwards. And then you hang up and you're like, wait a second, they asked me for my name. That was weird. So just, slow down. Don't feel like you have to answer the questions immediately and really be skeptical about folks. So now give me 1 second. We had a couple of questions from earlier before today's seminar. I guess this might have been answered before, but we received a lot of questions about robocalls, including how to slow or stop them and how to report them. What were some of those tips on how to report robocalls or how to get off people's, how to get onto the do not call lists.
Okay, I can give you some information on that, and then I'll go ahead and type it in the chat feature as well. But you can report scam and robocalls and emails. I have some information. So you want to forward your scam emails to the Global Anti-Phishing Working Group, and the address, the email address is reportphishing, phishing at apwg.org. You can also report fraud and spam attempts to the FTC at reportfraud.ftc.gov. You can stop unwanted robocalls and texts by going to the FCC's website at www.fcc.gov.
Awesome. Thank you, Sally. And we'll also make sure to get that information from you and include it on the website when we include a link to today's seminar as well, so that folks have that in as easy a place as possible. I guess, yeah, some of you already talked about this before, but somebody asked about reporting. They say it's great to scam proof yourself, but what can we do to try to help catch the people who are doing this? So if everybody could just reiterate one more time what the best way is to report something, if it has to do with contractors or has to do with kind of financial protection. I know you all said, on your websites, there are ways to report, complaints and problems. Is that right?
CSLB has many different avenues to report any complaints for unlicensed activity. You could do it through our social media channels. You can email me directly at natalie.watmore@cslb.ca.gov, or you can also send an email to cslbinfo@cslb.ca.gov, and we can facilitate getting that information to our enforcement division.
And the California Department of Insurance, the 800 number is 800-927-4357, or the website is insurance.ca.gov. And also on the slide deck, I believe there are 4 other avenues to report it.
Great.
And you can contact DFPI at dfpi.ca.gov or call us toll free at 866-275-2677.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you, all 3 of you. And if you're not sure where to go to, call my office. Call my office and we can connect, we can get information about the situation, and then we can refer you to the relevant agency, whether it's a state agency, a federal agency, a local agency. We can help you make sure that you get connected with folks who can help out. So this question, and I want to make sure I ask it accurately. They said, apart from having my accounts hacked, which is a separate risk, are there scamming risks to watch out for, even if I have no interaction through phone, text, email, mail with the scammer? So are there scams that don't have to do with phone, text, email, personal interaction situations?
I guess maybe there could be through the mail, whether they're stealing your pre-approved credit card information. But again, with cyber attacks and data breaches at almost every level of business, if you shopped at Target, if you belong to Blue Shield, I mean, just about every business has had some data breaches. So without doing anything wrong on your end, just by shopping at Target, your information could have been sold.
Yep.
There are definitely other ways that our information could get out there. So what we're trying to do today is provide you information on what you can do to, safeguard your personal identifying information. So when you talk to somebody, do they really need to know your social security number?
Mm-hmm.
What business requires your social security number, right? At what level, what type of information should you be providing? And do you know who you're giving that information to?
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Somebody asked, have we talked about Medicare scams? I might have missed that if those came up earlier. It might also be a totally different department.
Yeah, that none have been reported to us at the Department of Insurance that I know of.
I'm sorry, Mary Beth, say that one more time.
None have been reported to us at the to me at the Department of Insurance through my local offices, fraud offices.
Gotcha. Perfect. But you'd be the right person to go to if somebody was worried about that.
I would probably go to the Medicare office. If you have Medicare, I would just, contact your the people there.
Okay.
Knowledgeable.
Perfect.
Forward your information. That's the big thing.
Yeah. And along those lines, so you wanted to follow up on a piece of information that was given out a minute ago, which is that the Senior Gateway website that was mentioned earlier, the Senior Gateway website is www.seniors.insurance.ca.gov. So that's seniors.insurance.ca.gov is the Senior Gateway website where seniors can go to look for more information.
I'd like to add on the Medicare fraud. You want to report it to the Senior Medicare Patrol. And the website there is SMP, standing for Senior Medicare Patrol. So it's smpresource.org.
Sorry, give me that one more time, Sally.
smpresource.org, O-R-G, and that is for the Senior Medicare Patrol, and that's where you would report Medicare fraud.
Perfect. Thank you very much. And my staff is typing another question into the chat, into my doc. Do you have any information on real estate title scams where someone illegally gets the title to your property? I have a neighbor who was a victim of this. The county did not do sufficient checks. So real estate title scams, which I've heard about before as well.
Yes, there are real estate title scams, and it depends on the county whether they notify a homeowner if there's been a change to their title. So yes, it happens, and definitely you want to open up all your mail. Do not disregard your mail. If you get anything in the mail and you're not quite sure, follow up on it, and you can go to your county registrar's office to see if there's been anything changed. But again, there is no regulation that makes every county report changes in title. It again depends on the county you live in.
And that's also something to think about for the future. So I appreciate that. Thank you, Sally. I think so. I think that might be the end of our questions for the group. I'm sure my staff will correct me if that's wrong, or hopefully they'll confirm for me if that's right. Yep, they're confirming for me that that's right. So, well, thank you so much to each of our panelists for sharing your expertise today. I know that we've all learned a lot of helpful information to help us avoid being scammed in the first place. And then unfortunately, if something does happen, now we have a better idea of where to go. And once again, if you're not sure where to go, call my office, please, and reach out to us. I'd especially like to thank Natalie Watmore from the Contractor State License Board, Mary Beth Bykowski from the California Department of Insurance, and Sally Westlake from the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. I'd also really want to extend a special thank you to Stephanie Gutierrez Valdez, the outreach coordinator at the Contractor State License Board, for working to assemble today's panelists and to make today's event a success. And I definitely want to thank my district office staff my senior field representative, Leslie Bulbuck, who is the point person for today's event, as well as Elise Lester and Pablo Velasquez for supporting Leslie for today's event. And I mentioned before, but we are going to share the video of the Senior Scam Stopper seminar on my website. We're also going to provide a link to the slides. And so if you'd like to view this or review this later on, or share the information with your friends and relatives, please do so. You can view the video by going to the newsroom video gallery on my website. And I imagine we'll also probably have a link to it on the homepage, at least for a certain period of time. And with that, thank you so much. This was one of the best attended events we've had. I think we had 250 people at the height of it. Really appreciate everybody for taking time out of your day, and please do everything that you can to protect yourself from bad actors and from senior scams out there. So thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day. Thanks.